I like Serial Experiments Lain. Like, a lot. Like, a lot. It's a show I often think about that's left a strong, lasting impression on me. And for things that I end up loving, I typically tend to follow the creative team behind it, and will look at the stuff they've made as well as the stuff they are making or will make. Serial Experiments Lain was created and produced by Yasuyuki Ueda, directed by the late Ryutaro Nakamura, written by Chiaki Konaka, with character design from Yoshitoshi Abe. And when I find out that one of these people worked on another project, my interest spikes up. A quick rundown of other things I found directly through his connection to Lain. All You Need Is Kill, The Big O, Haibane Renmei, Kino's Journey, Technolize, Marabito, Mononoke, Phenomeno, Welcome to the NHK, and hopefully I can see Despera in its intended format one day. I know that's cope, but fuck, man. And when scrolling through Chiaki Konaka's list of works on Letterboxd in February of 2023, I saw a show called Alice 6 and read the one review it had at the time by Astin Batin. No idea if I'm saying that right. Serial Experiments Lain vibes? Charmingly crude. Sign me the fuck up. But get those hopes and dreams and just shit all over them because this shit isn't in English. It was all uploaded to YouTube, but I can't understand the spoken moon runes. I'm too stupid for that shit. Except maybe, just maybe, there was hope. Back on that Letterboxd review, there were replies to it. One specifically from someone named Dazzy Rock posted the prior month, and it said they were fan-subbing the show. Real shit? So shout out to Dazzy Rock and her team of people that worked on this fan sub because September of that year they finished and published it. So I just want to give thanks because this video would not exist if it were not for their time and effort. And I would also like to thank those who have supported this channel. If you would like to do so, you can at Patreon. Link on screen and in the description. What the fuck even is Alice 6 anyway? Alice 6 is an area code drama written by Chiaki Konaka and directed by his brother Kazuya Konaka. Okay, what the fuck is an area code drama? So in the mid-90s in Japan, you'd have low-budget dramas broadcasted exclusively to a region of Japan on their local public access network. These area code dramas would also be known by a number, Alice 6 being area code drama 054. Ain't that a great name for a fucking conversation? Hey man, you watched drama 054 last night? So much worse for trying to look it up online too. Shit's SEO cursed. Yeah, I'm just gonna call this Alice 6 like a regular sane person. Alice 6 was broadcast to both Shizuoka as well as Niigata. For some reason, some sources leave out the Niigata part while other sources include it. But in this case, I'm going to trust Konaka.com on this one. And yeah, I did use fucking Wikipedia while researching this shit. Suck my cock if you got a problem with that. There's fuck all information on these 6 bitches to begin with, so I'll take what I can get. Given how these area code dramas are mid-90s, Japanese region-specific, public access, low-budget ass shows, it's kind of amazing that this even survived and got thrown onto the internet to begin with. I don't know how many of the other shows are still available in any capacity, but this shit feels like the kind of thing that would result into lost media. But hey, now I'm able to freely download some Alice 6 MKVs and ass files. Would it surprise you to know that Alice 6 is just Chiaki Konaka's version of Alice in Wonderland? Well, it shouldn't. Because if you know anything about his work, then you know the dude fucking loves Alice in Wonderland. He worked on a lot of shit that was either directly based on it or references it in some capacity. But this version has 6 times the Alice. Each of those titular Alices start their adventure into their own Wonderland by hitting up a modeling audition. Oh, that is some they live shit. Girl, you best start running. But she don't. None of the 6 girls do, and they all end up getting the modeling gig. These 6 get taken into the woods, see the local forest furries, and find themselves abandoned and trapped into a labyrinthine wonderland, now trying to escape. Every episode features the girls in a new part of Wonderland across both space and time. Sometimes they'll be in a cave with some dude asking them to put on a talent show. Or maybe they'll be on another planet, trapped in a dome with some guy maintaining it. Or a couple decades prior living a different life. Each episode brings about a different issue for the girls to deal with. A lot of these episodes carry with them characters portraying classic literary characters. You've got your obvious Alice inclusions like Tweedledee and Tweedledum and the Queen of Hearts. But these character illusions aren't unique to Alice in Wonderland. There's an episode that's literally just Beauty and the Beast. It's even fucking called Beauties and the Beast. The episode Amano Hagoromo is based off the no play Hagoromo, which has the same premise as this episode. There's a couple Wizard of Oz references with the final episode named after the clicking of the heels.
それはオズの魔法使いだよ。
And there's another episode called The Dark Labyrinth, which shares the same name as the Lawrence Durrell book, but I haven't read it, and based on its description and the fact that Chiaki Konaka likes to reference literature a lot, I wouldn't doubt there being some inspiration. With every episode being based on a wholly different premise, it results in a mixed bag of episodes. Some episodes, like The Black Magic, ends up ass because of its focus on dumb fucking children, while you got other episodes like The Dark Labyrinth, which are pretty good. Each one completely vary in their approach, and I respect that. No two episodes feel the same. The 6 main characters are not just models within the story, but were also models in real life at the time. Some of them are apparently no longer active models. But them being models also explain 2 things about the show. The first being that the show will just take a break from the story to have them model for a minute or 2. This happens somewhat often, it feels like. But it makes sense. You've hired models, might as well get them to strut their stuff. The second thing is that they're models, not actors. This either feels like an attempt to get into acting, or they were pushed into it by their agency. Either way, they're not primarily actors, so their performance can sometimes be not the best, but it's excusable given that circumstance. I will say that some girls had a better performance, such as Anana Komine, who played Masatsugu Shoko in Alice 6. She actually continued her acting career after this. Wait, Masatsugu Shoko? Where have I heard that? Oh, fuck! Most of the named characters in Alice 6 is going to sound familiar if you've watched Serial Experiments Lain. First off, the show is called Alice 6, and the 6 girls with their powers combined results in becoming Alices. And hey, Alice is a pretty important character in Lain. Then you've got Masatsugu Shoko, who I've mentioned being that one MILF in episode 7 in Lain. You've got Oreika and Kato Judy, who despite having different surnames had their names reused from Alice 6 for the other classmates in Lain. Or did they? So apparently this isn't even the first time an Alice, Reika, and Judy were characters in a Chiaki Konaka work. They had previously used these same names in The Haunted High, an episode of School Kwaidan. I've tried looking up footage of that episode, but it's either hyper obscure or lost to time. Best I've got are the scenario PDFs and screenshots from Konaka.com. Shame, would have been interested in watching this. Look at that fella! Whereas Goto Miki's name wasn't carried over into Lain, that name is actually a carryover from Mihime Goto from Haunted High. You've also got Chisa Yamoda, you know, the girl who offs herself at the very beginning and only appears later as a ghost-like voice. This Chisa Yamoda actually has a very similar role in Alice 6. She too disappears in the first episode and only occasionally shows up like a ghost would. And finally, Koga Michiru. Unless this is also a carryover name from some other Chiaki Konaka work I haven't seen, I think her name is wholly original. That's it for the girls, but the last named main character would be the antagonist Kano Hikozaemon. Also, as far as I know, not a shared name with another character. So Kano is the master of Wonderland and serves as the villain. He's associated with a myriad of Alice in Wonderland characters, primarily the White Rabbit. All the furries have taken over the forest! But he's on occasion depicted as Lewis Carroll himself.
じゃあ誰なのよ。
チャールズ・ドジス、またの名をルイス・キャロル。
Or as the Cheshire Cat. Yeah, look at that shitty green screen! Oh, it's terrible, I love it! Despite the fact that there is overlap with Serial Experiments Lain, I do want to make it clear that this is not just Proto-Lain, and if you do end up watching this, to try and not look at it through a Lain lens as much as possible. Again, there's tons of similarities to point out. You've got at least 2 episodes all about identity and disassociation. Episode 8 of Alice 6 is similar in approach to Lain's episode 11 in that they're both recap episodes where only half of it is actually a recap and the other half is new footage. As well as random-ass Roswell alien shit happening. Dude, this thing is comically tiny. And of course, Chisa Yamoda might as well be taken wholesale and airdropped into Lain. But I feel that rather than this be a Lain prototype, that this is just what Chiaki Konaka likes to write about. The dude loves including conspiracies, Roswell, Alice in Wonderland, people's relationship with technology, disassociation, and identity crises into his works. If you're going to call Alice 6 Proto-Lain, then you might as well call Marabito fucking Lain 2. Hell, this isn't even unique to Chiaki Konaka, this is just a creator thing. You can follow someone's work and you will end up seeing the same motifs and concepts being brought back later because either the creator just likes them, or they weren't satisfied and they're trying to do a run back on those ideas. If you want to see what I mean, go play Xenoblade 3 and see that it might as well be a Xenogears remake in all but name, or how Chase Cold Case Investigations is just low-budget Hotel Dusk or Last Window. Alice 6 has a soul of its own. It's very clear that those involved in making this love doing so. There's a little bit of behind-the-scenes footage and it looks like the girls are having fun, and Chiaki Konaka practically named his website after Alice 6. The name is fucking plastered on the background, which makes this a bitch to look at, and he even says on his website that he had created control over what he wanted to do. Being able to make what you want to make is one of the best feelings you can have as a creator, and that shows in Alice 6. It's goofy, it's filled with references and allusions that Chiaki Konaka clearly likes, it's constantly shifting in genre, and the team tried their damnedest to convert what was written in that script onto the screen, even if it may look shit at times. Especially that CG, man, that shit is rough. But fuck the low budget, forget about that shit, because what the fuck is the point if you can't have fun with it despite it all? And that shows in the final product. Go and give Alice 6 a watch. It's just 11 episodes and it's all on YouTube, as well as for download through the link on the playlist description. It's amazing to me that something like this even survived and got fan sub to begin with, and it'd be a shame for those preservation efforts to go to waste.